Off the top at 6 tonight, a shocking story that you'll only see on Local 10 News involving Tyreek Hill.
Police called to de-escalate a situation involving the Miami Dolphins superstar, his wife, daughter, and mother-in-law. Let's get right over to Local 10's Rosh Lowe live in Sunny Isles Beach with the exclusive. Rosh.
This was a very concerning call to police, and it came from the mother-in-law of Tyreek Hill. The mother-in-law concerned about her daughter and the couple's baby.
You're looking at exclusive video of Tyreek Hill on the balcony of his Sunny Isles condo Monday as police are responding.
Battery to the daughter, the subject is the husband on scene.
The call goes out. Police race to the Porsche Design building in Sunny Isles Beach on Monday.
Subject is Tyreek Hill.
The mother-in-law of Miami Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill calls the cops. The call goes out as an assault in progress.
Subject black male wearing a white tank top.
When police get there, they make contact with Hill, his wife Keita Hill, and their child.
I'm ready for it.
They also speak to Tyreek's mother-in-law, Alicia Vaccaro. Let's get right to the police report. Quote, Vaccaro stated that Tyreek is very aggressive and impulsive, and that he has anger issues, and she is afraid for her daughter. And when she saw Tyreek arguing and throwing her daughter's computer to the floor, and later grabbing her granddaughter and start walking with her in his arms towards the balcony of their 35th floor residence, she called the police.
Get out! Get out!
Remember last September when he was pulled over by Miami-Dade officers outside Hard Rock Stadium on game day? Those traffic citations were eventually dropped.
Straight out of the police report, Tyreek's wife tells cops that her arguments with Tyreek are becoming more frequent. When she told him he wasn't involved enough with the baby, she says he grabbed the baby, and she's now in the process of filing for divorce.
No charges in this case. Both parties stated that the argument never became physical, even though officers observed a light redness mark bruise on the mother's left upper chest and questioned her about it.
Okay, now let's get to a statement from the Miami Dolphins, just put out a short time ago. It reads, quote, on Monday, we were informed that the police were called to Tyreek Hill's home, and after conversations with Tyreek and members of his family, the police departed the residence without further incident, and the case was closed. We have since been in communication with Tyreek and the NFL and will have no further comment on this matter. Back out here live, it is also important to note that Tyreek's wife did not want to write a report on this case. We're live in Sunny Isles Beach. I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10 News.
A story that is now going viral. Rosh, thanks a lot.
All right, here we go again. Tyreek Hill. I think at this point, when it comes to Tyreek Hill, I think Tyreek may need some therapy because he seems to always get into some type of domestic issues. In this case, the girl's mom called the cops. The cops come to the house. They see a reddish mark on her mother's chest. I don't know, maybe it's nothing, but Tyreek got into an altercation with the cops earlier last year. They slammed him to the ground, and now allegedly his wife is filing for a divorce, and so the news is reporting that I guess she's upset that he's not spending more time with the kid now, with his newborn. So I know as a professional athlete, their time is limited. These guys are constantly training, constantly practicing. That's why I feel like once you enter this profession as a professional athlete, I don't think with the time that is demanded from you, a lot of times the women don't understand, especially their significant other don't understand the time that they need to spend not only practicing but training for the upcoming season. And it can take a lot. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your family a lot of time because of the training and so forth. So that's why I feel like professional athletes probably should wait till they retire to get in relationships. But Tyreek had issues years before this with I think one of his baby's mothers, and he got violent with her and the kid. I just think Tyreek Hill, I keep saying Tyreek Hill probably needs some therapy and try to find a way to channel his anger. You know, he got to change his image, because right now it's not looking good for him. He got to be able to, if you, according to what they're reporting, that he grabbed his wife's computer, slammed it on the ground, and picked up the baby and walked out out of his condo near the balcony. The mom got scared, so she called up the cops. Of course, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna do nothing to his daughter, but all I hear is emotion, especially when it comes to Tyreek Hill. I think he needs to be able to control his emotion, to be able to have a dialogue. Because once you get married, you gotta be able to communicate with your wife. And maybe he didn't see a good relationship growing up. Maybe he come from a family that yells to get their point across, when there's multiple ways to get your point across. I know when you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, both sides got to be on the same page. And in this situation, you have a husband and a wife, and then a mother-in-law observing you slamming your wife's computer, yelling back and forth with her, and now she's talking about getting a divorce. And they just got married, I think, a year ago. And so, Tyreek, he just have too much going on. I just think he might need to do some therapy. It's just my opinion. And as a professional athlete, I know his wife wants him to be more hands-on with the kids, but man, it's really tough for these guys, because they got to put so much time in practice, so much time in training, and that can take away from the family. But that's just something that he has to work with her for as long as he's going to be married. Because right now I'm hearing that she's filed for divorce. So tough situation. I think it starts with Tyreek. He needs to control his emotions. This should never have come to this. Never. I understand they're always heated. There may be, you may have a heated, I don't want to say argument, but heated back and forth with your significant other. But at the end of the day, she's a reflection of you. And you want whatever negative things you say towards her is almost like you're looking at a mirror at yourself, and you're saying that to yourself also. So I just feel like Tyreek needs to change his image, probably needs some therapy, probably never seen a good example of a husband and wife while growing up on how they should interact. And it's time to change. All that yelling at your wife, going back and forth at your wife, it just does not work. And also too, on her end, I'm pretty sure he was this way while they were dating. Well, some people change, but this is a tough situation. So we gotta wait and see if she's gonna continue with this divorce, and see how this works out for Tyreek. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next video. Yay!